see what they chose for me. I'm not sure I want to look, but well, if I can't find what I'm looking for, why not create it? There's this essence here in the city where you can do whatever you want if you...
Welcome to the Dubai Builder podcast. I'm so excited to have you here. And Fari, what are you building in Dubai?
Franzi, you had to start it off with a big question, huh? Okay. First of all, thank you for inviting me. I love the fact that you are building, you're creating, and you're doing it with such alignment. So well done to you. Bravo.
Thank you.
You know what? The answer to that question is, I know we have 15 minutes to do this whole entire episode, so I'm going to condense. I think the easiest way I can answer that is, what I'm building is revealing itself to me. I've started with the intention to bring people together, to create a sense of belonging in a city that I've lived in for 18 years now in Dubai. For me, it's home. It's where I have my business. It's where I really do feel like I found myself. I created my own independence here. And I noticed that there is a sense of people need to belong, right? So everything I've always done has always been on the intention to bring people together, to connect people. And that's what I think I've always been building.
Yeah.
The direction I've taken has changed in terms of doing everything solo and always wanting to help and grow, building it more into more of a collaborative space. So I think that's one change that I've seen in a positive way in terms of what I'm building. But I think it's just communities is what I've always been building. The intention to connect people has been at the core of what I do in my business with the agency. I do events, I do content, and it's all about visibility, about expanding your brand exposure. And at the core of it, it's about, you know, it's safe to be seen. It's safe to feel like you belong somewhere. And I mean, this is the city where you create, where you build, where anything is possible. So this is where I've taken off the limits and just been like, what else can we do? You know, what else can we create? So yeah, I still feel like I'm discovering more and more about what it is I want to create. So maybe ask me another 10 years and I'll tell you something else.
Absolutely, yeah. More than welcome to come to another episode if we are still doing the Dubai Builder podcast content.
When you will be in your, by that time, I would say maybe your 10th season. See?
I think we are even faster than that.
I love it.
Yes.
This is the energy.
Yes.
This is what we need.
Yes.
There you go.
Amazing. Yeah, and what you just said, I love that because we met at one of the events, the Podstars event, and you were hosting. I immediately knew I want to have you here because I could see and sense that you're like in a builder mode. So really, really inspiring. 18 years ago, you came to Dubai. Probably networking back then looked slightly different than today. So, but maybe you can share both angles. Like, how did you got started building your network in Dubai, and what is maybe a pro tip for today's age?
Sure. For me, when I actually started coming here from 1999, and I decided back in 2007, I think Dubai is going to be my next spot because I grew up in the UK. And when I started doing networking in the UK, it was straight out of university. I was like, okay, we're going to do like social events for professional networking. And it wasn't really a thing back in those days, but I wanted to try and experiment. When I moved here, it was more about getting to know people, right? Because, I mean, you can speak firsthand as well. When you first move here, if you come with a ready built network or you come to work in a company, then you're already embracing that new family, whatever it is. But if you come and you're kind of exploring what it is you want to do, you need to go out there and meet new people. So the networking process for me when I first came here was more about who do I want to meet? I didn't really set out to network professionally. It was more like I want to meet really cool, fun, different people and just do some really different things. Like I don't want to go to brunches back in those days, it was Thursday and Friday was our weekend.
Okay.
So it was more about, can I find people who have different interests? Book clubs were always a thing. So it depends on your interest. There, you will always find something, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to connect to people who wanted to learn more, curious. Like the thing we have in common, self-development.
Yes.
I was always curious about those things. So I got very connected to the wellness centers, the holistic centers. And I realized again, they were developing a business. They were developing mini communities. But I wanted to expand community vibes. And I realized in terms of the networks that you could plug into was very few, but they were growing. So I think in the last, I would say, 15 to 15 years, I've seen that more people are getting into networking. The biggest change I've seen, or the biggest improvement I've seen, is the diversity of how people want to network. So back in 2000 and, oh my God, I'm trying to remember what year it was, 2015, I started doing speed networking events. People didn't understand it. And back in the UK, we did that. But here it was new. And they were like, we want more time. We need to speak to each other. And I said, but this is speed networking. The concept is that you just do it on a speed up process. They wanted more time. So it was too early. Now I do it part of my founders community, speed networking. Everyone's like, okay, can we move on? Can we move on? So the mindset has shifted, right? More people are ready to meet more people in a shorter period of time. But in that same context, I've noticed, I think there is a level of diversity in Dubai where you can meet a variety of different people, different cultures, backgrounds, and you can learn from so many people. Networking brings that element to the forefront. So I've noticed one thing as well in terms of what I really didn't ever want to include in my events was this love for business card, exchanges. And I'm like, I used to develop piles of business cards when I went to any event or exhibitions. And I thought, how often do I ever go back to find the card? Very rarely. So I made a mission of mine that whenever I do a networking event, we don't do business card exchanges. I want people to really connect. So rather get your phone out, connect with them on WhatsApp, connect with them on LinkedIn, on Instagram. Now you have so many different technological advances where you can scan each other's codes. Stop with the business card exchanges because that's one of the things I noticed. People thought networking was, let me just go and share my card with as many people as I can, tick in the box, great networking session. But how many of them did you actually connect with? Did you have a conversation that is memorable? Do you remember what that person really does? Are they going to add value to your business? Can you refer them to somebody else? Did you have the time to build a meaningful connection? That's what was missing, in my opinion. And I think over the years, intentional networking, meaningful networking has been something that I've wanted to develop. So I've noticed that I've done the evening sessions, big, huge crowds of 200-300 people. Now it's more intimate. I would say I've even capped it at like 14 at my monthly events where it's pure founders networking and upskilling. 14 people max, intentionally. So that's where we really develop that connection level. So it's more intentional. And the session you came to with Pod Club, again, that was one of our smaller ones, but you really got to meet everybody, right? So even the icebreakers, I think networking is designed by whoever is running the event.
Agree.
If you set the intention for people to really connect, you'll find the right ways of doing it. So it has developed, but I would definitely say, please don't look at networking as a let me go and just share my business card or my contacts with as many people as I can. Have more intention, have more purpose-driven aspect to who you're networking with and really develop that connection.
True. I couldn't agree more. And when you just said 15 or 14 people at an event, that's the exact same size I have put on the cap for my book club.
Love it.
Yeah, I mean, because it's maybe also the maximum amount of people which can be in one room to have like a group discussion, because the more you have, like, then it automatically has smaller subgroups.
Correct.
Yeah, so I love that.
See, we're still, there you go, the connections continue, I love it.
Amazing. Yeah, as you also said, like, there are so many events out there. Any hot tip other than joining your events? Which platforms do you use?
To be honest with you, in terms of organizing, you mean? Like if you want to organize an event or attending? So, okay, again, anyone who's been here long enough will remember back in the days we had Meetup, which still exists. We had Eventbrite. Now you have so many new platforms that actually are more of they're an aggregator. So they will collect all events that are happening within the city, especially. And you can just basically put your likes and interests and it will keep flagging up what's happening. I do feel like if you just want to connect with more people, especially when you're new to the city, attend as many as you possibly can. I remember back in the day, there was an international one called Internations and A Small World, which were, global brands. It was a franchise that was across all the cities. And you knew that when you went there were small subgroups and you can attend like whatever your personal interest was. You go once, twice, you love it, you keep going. It wasn't my thing because, again, they were just very large and I didn't really feel like I connected with many people. But I do feel like when you're in more conversations and you say like, you know, is there anything new happening? Do you know of any other groups? Just not be afraid of asking people, you know, what communities are you part of? And I feel like book clubs are one of the growing communities here, as is paddle, walking, running. There are these communities that are building as well. And you can do something which is fun, but also network.
Yeah,
right. So I don't think you need to look at networking as it has to be professional, it has to be in the evening, or it has to be a morning breakfast. There are so many different varieties.
True.
You do what you do and you'll meet the right people.
I agree. Let's move on to the next topic.
Okay.
So this is about government initiatives. So the Dubai government or UAE government, they have a lot of programs, initiatives they're doing in order to support builders, creators like us. Are you part of any of them?
So in terms of government-run initiatives and campaigns and bodies, I personally have done events to support certain government entities. And it wasn't intentional. I didn't go looking to be part of, you know, government campaigns or anything like that. It just organically came about that I was working with a lot of startups. And entrepreneurship for me was something that I wanted to develop and learn a lot more about. So I attended certain events. And if you're curious enough to, you know, go and attend a variety of different things, you see gaps, right? And I realized that there was events I was going to and I thought, this is really interesting and the conversation is good, but I would like to know more. I want to do a masterclass. So once I saw gaps, I started thinking, well, if I can't find what I'm looking for, why not create it?
Oh, I love that.
And that's, I think that's how it just organically happened. I hear my goosebumps coming up again, you can see. So I realized, look, if I want it and I can't find it, let me build it. And that's where I understood the elements I love the most, which is about bringing quality speakers together. I did, you know, collaborate back in those days before collaboration became a thing with the entities that were busy working, creating and building support systems, ecosystems for startups. And they were more like incubators. So I did collaborate with them to bring events together. And I felt that, you know what, there was a huge support coming to the startup world. And organically, it just developed into a community that I was building as well, which was, okay, so this is going to come in a bit of a, let's say, different way of looking at it. Everyone was talking about how to become a successful entrepreneur. I kind of wanted to, you know, shine the spotlight on a different aspect, and it was more on the failures. So we started doing an entire community called FUN, which stands for F Up Nights, and it was actually supported by Dubai Tourism. So DTCM, you know, God bless them, they came along to verify us as being compliant, and they were like, guys, we understand what you're building here, go for it. So we were supported by the government bodies to come along and run this initiative, because it was really letting people know that you will fail in certain things. So let's not shy away from it. Let's celebrate it and take that power away from the failure. So we step into our power of let's keep going, let's keep continuing. And we did it everywhere. I held the event even in Emirates Towers. We did it there. So I think there is a support. There is a big support for trying things differently, doing things in a new way. And I always felt like there's this essence here in the city where you can do whatever you want. If you take away that if you take away the limited mindset, you can create limitless creations. Absolutely. So I felt like there is a support here. Anything you want to do, you're able to do it, as long as you obviously maintain within the boundaries. But that's just with respect and you know, following the lines of what you're allowed to do. Yeah, I think you can create anything.
Agree. Wonderful. That's such a great story. And I mean, there's even this like Dubai communities, which is also supported by the government, or promoting community events. So with my book club, I'm also on that page. So maybe you should also look at that.
Why not? Happy to.
Yeah. So, and I would really be curious if those events are still being hosted somewhere, or maybe being reactivated, because you're the second founder who's telling me on their podcast that they enjoy those kind of things, which I agree, not everything goes well. Even on that podcast, there are a lot of things which are happening behind the scenes, which are edited out. Exactly. But we should talk about them.
I mean, there's a reason why bloopers and, you know, BTS is growing in popularity, because people love the fact that, oh, something went wrong. Please tell me what went wrong.
Yes.
There is that level of it, right? But it's just how comfortable are people to show it.
Yeah, but it
That's the
also
part.
takes the pressure away
Yeah.
from someone who's just getting started, who has those hiccups. It's like, why is this happening maybe to me? Versus, honestly, it happens
It
to all
happens
of
to
us.
everybody.
To everybody,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. Thank you for sharing, Fari. We are now coming to a new point.
Okay.
I prepared some questions, and the community voted earlier online today which of the 3 AB Talks questions you
Okay.
should answer today. And they voted for the middle one.
Okay, please be kind to me, community. I'm
Yes.
asking, and by the way, I love the fact that you have AB Talk, so that's one of my
Yeah.
favorite shows. So,
Same for me.
okay, let's see what they chose for me. I'm not sure I want to look, but let's go. Okay. Do you say yes or no too much, and why? We were having this conversation before we started recording.
Now it's being official.
I know. Okay. So, to be honest with you, there was a period where I was saying yes to the wrong things way more than I should have said no. And I think I've kind of course corrected a little bit there. I feel like I have that harmony within myself that I feel aligned to something, I'm going to say yes. So the too much, thank goodness, has dissipated. And I do feel like, I told you as well, you asked me, I didn't even question. I felt the alignment, I was like, yes. But I have been asked to do multiple other shows and I've declined. So I feel the alignment is guiding me away from the too much and more into what feels right. Yeah. So thank you for that. Thank you for confirming to me I've made my course correction. So yeah, that's something I feel it was a pattern that I've noticed. I had the awareness and I've now thankfully said no to saying too much of anything.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Thank you community for being kind to me on this very sweet one. I like it. Thank you.
Wonderful.
I'm curious to know what the other two said though. So we might maybe do it once you stop recording.
Maybe. Let's see. Stay tuned on the stories. So Fari, how can people get to know more about you, your events? How can people best find you on the internet?
I can safely say I'm everywhere. So whether you want to connect with me on Instagram or LinkedIn, I have 3 different communities right now. But the main one I would say for me is if they follow me on Instagram, Fari_Zolf. That's where everything comes together. It's my main page where I put all the information on there. But I am running Founders Community with the XF, Pod Club community on its own as well. And I do have my own agency. So you can't miss me. That's the easiest way I can say it to you.
If we are looking for you, we will find you. Amazing. Thank you so much, Fari, for those insights, and really curious to hear more about this and see you at upcoming events.
Thank you so much, Franzi. Keep doing what you're doing. You're rocking it. You're amazing, and I'm getting the goosebumps again.
Oh.
You're doing your mission. Keep going.
Thank you so much. We close things here with the high five. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Okay.
Boom. Love it.
Yay.